Hello, everybody. Hi, guys, and welcome back to my podcast. I am Rom Balaba, and this is Traveling as a South African podcast. Thank you so much on the love shown on my previous videos so far. I think I'm done discussing and talking about the Schengen visa now. If you haven't already, or if you are new, hello, welcome. If you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel so that you can learn and get to know each and everything that you need to know about traveling as a South African. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about a Canadian visitor's visa. The Canadian visitors visa. Canada. Canada is one of the countries that people love immigrating to. I'm just going to be talking and giving general information about the visitors visa, also known as the temporary residence visa. How do you apply, the documents that are needed for it, and what do they mean by A, B, C, and D, so that you can get an understanding and some inner depth of what to look out for when you want to apply for a Canadian visitor's visa. Unfortunately for us South Africans, we have to apply in paper, meaning you have to submit your application. I think they're using VFS also. You have to comply all the supporting documents that they want and go and make an appointment with VFS so that you can submit your application unlike other countries that can just lodge an application online. Let's start with the visitor's visa. The application fee for it is $100. Okay, it's a non-refundable $100. $100 when you go to exchange rate today is like 1,874 cents. Most visa centers, they do not accept cash, so please make sure that you always have enough money in your card. For the Canadian visitors visa, how long can you stay? Remember, there's like a different periods like for visas that you can stay as a visitor. Others, they will give you 6 months visa with 30 days per stay, meaning you can visit multiple entry, but per visit you can only stay for 30 days. Okay, so in Canada, most visitors can stay for up to 6 months in Canada. Ooh, I like this. I might just very tempted. At the port of entry, the border service officer may allow you to stay for less or more than 6 months. If so, they'll put the date you need to leave by in your passport. So when you are getting by the pub, by the airport, you go to the immigration office. Whoever officer is checking your passport is checking if you have the requirements, you are eligible to enter Canada. They will decide how long they are gonna allow you to stay in their country. They can just say you are only allowed to stay for 30 days, or you're only allowed to stay for 6 months. Double check these things, guys, so that you don't go only to find out that you can only stay for 5 days and then now you are there for 20 days. That's a violation on your visa, and it might result with you being given a penalty or being banned to visit the country again. If you don't get a stamp in your passport, you can stay for 6 months from the day you entered Canada or until your passport expires, whichever comes first. If you need a stamp, you can ask a border office for one. So who can apply for a visitor's visa to come and visit Canada? Anybody you have who has a valid traveling document like a passport, anyone who's in good health, you must have no criminal or immigration related convictions. When they say criminal or immigration related convictions, maybe you transported drugs in another country and then you got caught, you sent to prison. Anything that's got to any crime that you committed in another country while you were visiting, that is going to discredit you from applying for a Canadian visa. If you convince an immigration officer that you have ties such as a job, a home, a financial assets or family that will take you back to your home country. This one, it's one of those points also I made on the Schengen visa. They need to know your ties. Like, okay, fine, I'm just here for holiday. I have ties back in my country. I have my family, I have my wife, I have my husband, I have my kids. I'm just here for holiday and then I am going to go back to them. So you need to have proof of that. And also, if you can convince an immigration officer that you will leave Canada at the end of your visit, meaning you need to have your return flight also. The immigration officer that's going to be looking at your application, they need to see that you have a return flight that is coming back to South Africa on the specified date that you say your holiday is ending on. And you have enough money for your stay. The amount of money you will need depends on how long you will stay and if you will stay in a hotel or with friends or relatives. Okay. So if you are visiting for 10 days and they say to you, for that 10 days, we need you to have $2,000 in your account. You need to show that you do have the $2,000 in your account in order for them to proceed forward with your application. Otherwise, if you say if you're on your holiday for that 10 days is going to be $2,000 and you only have $100, you have no business applying for that holiday, right? So that's like a disqualification on its own. You may also need a medical exam and a letter of invitation from someone who lives in Canada if you are going to visit someone. Okay. So some people are not allowed to enter Canada. Some people are not allowed to enter Canada. People who have criminal activity, human rights violations, organized crime, they do not, unfortunately, allow such people to enter their country. So you will have to have your police clearance and everything when you are applying for their visa. So let's see the supporting documents that you need when you want to apply for a visitor's visa for Canada. Okay. The documents to be submitted with your visa application and bring when you travel. Remember, you submit copies by VFS Global. You keep copies for yourself so that when your visa gets approved and you go into Canada, you have copies also. At the border, when they ask you when you're entering Canada, the immigration officer that is asking for those documents, you need to be able to produce them. The one-day travel history, this one is optional. As they say, not all documents are needed. But then, if you can attach it, it might strengthen your application. You'll never know. So if you have traveled to Canada or to other countries, this can show that you've been able to get a visa in the past. Proof of this includes copies of previous visas in your passport. So if you have traveled before and you used a passport and then your pages like got full and you got a new passport and now you're applying for the Canadian visa with the new passport, make sure that you also submit the old passport with the traveling stamps so that they can say, this one is a traveler. It makes them kind of ease granting you a visa because they can see that you do travel quite often. If you say, I'm going to be entering your country and then leaving this date, you do leave. There's no need for you, like you don't cause trouble when it comes to such things. So if you do have like your travel history, things like that, do include, okay, submit with your visa application. Your itinerary also is optional. Documents that show how long you plan to stay and what will you be doing in Canada. So if you have places that you want to visit and then you just want to write, I am Ron Kalaba, I want to visit Canada for these days and I'm going to be doing A, B, C, and D. If you do have an itinerary, please print it out also and attach it. It's optional. It's not like it's a requirement, but just attach it so that it will also show that you are actually interested in their country. You've done your research and you know exactly where you want to be going and what you want to be doing in their country. And you can attach an account statement also. This can help this can help them to understand if you have enough money to support yourself during your stay in Canada. Bank statement. Make out your bank statement. They just need to see. For me, I wouldn't make it an optional, like it's optional if you attach it or not. But if they do go through your application and they do require it, they might call you and say, bring us a copy of your bank statement. So just rather get it the first time, print out your bank statement up to 6 months and then send also. In the bank statement, they need to see the bank name and contact. They need to see proof if it is your account and the account details, at least up to 6 months of account details, including balances. Okay, it helps them to understand your financial situation, if you can afford to go on a holiday or not. Your identity document, passport, it might be a regular, an official, or a diplomatic passport. South African, you do have a South African passport. That's the document that you are going to be using. They do not accept any temporary passport issued by the Republic of South Africa. If you have a temp passport, don't even bother applying. They're not going to accept it. They need a hard copy, your green barcoded passport. If you are applying on behalf of someone or somebody's applying on behalf of you, there's a form that you need to fill out from them and submit it. That clearly states that I am applying, I'm a third party, I'm applying on behalf of A, B, C, and D. They need to sign also the form for authority to release personal information to a designated individual. So there's 2 forms now. The first one is IMM 5476 and the second one is IMM 5475. This one is giving them authority to release your personal information to this third party that is applying on your behalf. So it could be a traveling agency, because most people, they use traveling agencies when they want to travel. So you do need to sign up the form and give the form to them to submit when they are submitting and lodging your application on your behalf. So your traveling agency now is going to be the third party that is handling your traveling, your visa application for you. Okay. Now, they do not need a lot of documents. That's it. They don't need a lot of documents as compared to when you're applying for a Schengen visa. Okay. And how do you apply? If you can't apply online, you need to get the application package and then you can apply on paper. So the application package includes an instruction guide and all the forms you need to fill out. You need to read the guide carefully before you complete your application, because they will not refund your application fee. So you need to make sure also that you need a visitor's visa. Yes, as a South African, we do need a visitor's visa. Therefore, you continue on getting the application package. It is available on their website. I'm going to drop the link on the description box so that you can click and get to see they call it the application package. That's where you get all the forms, the IAM something forms, and each and everything that you need to fill out and sign out. We'll check the forms that you need to sign, each and everything, if it is fully completed, like fully filled in completely and correctly. And then you pay your application fee, that $100. It's a non-refundable application. So please, when you are lodging your application, make sure that you meet all the requirements, you submit all the supporting documents, because you're not going to get it back. It's a non-refundable application fee. There are third-party fees. Depending on your situation, you may need to pay third-party fees for your medical exam, if there is a medical exam that they need. For your police certificate, you do need a police clearance certificate. In South Africa, a police clearance certificate takes up to, I don't know how many weeks, 3 or 7 weeks. You do need to pay for that yourself. And also, when you are submitting your application with VFS Global, you also do need to pay them a service fee. The service fee, last time I checked, it was $475. So all that money, unfortunately, if you don't get your visa, you are not going to get it back. So this is just the cost of you applying for a visa. You still need to pay for your flight itinerary, for your hotel reservation itinerary, for your flights, each and everything. So if you do not get the visa, no, you do not get the money back, unfortunately. When you submit your visitor's visa application in person, you need to submit the following documents: your original travel passport, good quality copies from your current and previous passports for the last 5 years, including all pages with visas, pages with stamps, all pages with a biographical data, meaning your name, date of birth, passport number, including your photo. You can submit your application to the closest visa application center. You will receive a service in your local language. Take advantage of their extended hours of services also. And then you can track your application online still. And then you have the assurance that your application is complete and all the proper documentation is included. So they do not need a lot of things. They need the application forms, and then they need just your original travel passport, good quality copies of your pages of your passport, previous and current ones. Okay? It isn't like that complicated. And if they do send you a message saying they do need extra supporting documents, you comply, you send the documents, and then they process your application. Your fingerprints, your biometrics will be collected when you are submitting your application, because you're submitting your application in person, not online. They will check your application to make sure you have all the documents they need. If it's incomplete, they will return your application without processing it. They might also ask you to go to an interview with their officials in our country. They might send more information on like your everything that you need if there is anything else that they are missing. They might ask you to get a medical exam. They might ask you to get a police clearance certificate. They might. Okay. So you need to stay ready, and you keep on checking your messages on their you after you create your profile on their website. You keep on checking like how far is your application? Is there any message? Is there anything that they need in order for your application to go smoothly? Okay. When your application is approved, any original documents, including your passport with the visa inside, will be returned to you. So at VFS, I'm not sure if they still do the courier services, but you pay if you choose the courier services, like when when the application is processed and then they say they approve your application, now your passport is ready. Either you choose to go and pick it up yourself, or you pay for a courier service so that when it is available, it like your visa now is ready for collection, they can just courier it to you. Other people, they don't feel really safe with couriering their passports, so they always choose the option of them going back to the center and picking up their passport with their visa. If they refused your application, an explanation of why your application was refused will be sent to you along with any original documents, including your passport. So you will still get a message to come and pick up your passport and your original documents that you submitted, even if you were refused the application, the visa. And they will give you the reason why they refused you the application, why they refused to give you the visa. And then other countries, they do tell you for how long you can wait to reapply for the visa again. Otherwise, if you can apply immediately again, apply and attach, if maybe you were missing something, the reason why they refused the application, attach everything and reapply again. Okay. I don't think there is any complication when it comes to this application for the Canadian passport. Sorry, the Canadian visa. It's actually very simple, hey? It's a very simple and straightforward path. It's a very simple and straightforward application. Always make sure that you have the documents, even if they are extra. For me personally, I would rather have extra documents, like the optional documents. I would rather just attach them on my application from the word go, like the first time, so that they can increase my chances of me being granted the visa. Okay, I think I will end it here today. And yeah, thank you so much for joining and watching up until here. Please do give the video a thumbs up, do share, and leave your comment if you have any questions with regards to Canada visitors visa, the application. I will drop the links, the relative links that you need when you want to apply for the Canadian passport. Also, the VFS Global link, so that you get to know the offices. If you are in Cape Town, you are in Durban, you are in Joburg, you get to know which one that is closest to you, that you can make your appointment. You get to know also their office hours and also their service fee. They do not take cash, that one I know for a fact. So all of this money that you need to have, make sure that you have in your bank card, so that you can just pay online and lodge your application. From me to you, don't forget to subscribe on the channel. I shall see you on the next episode.